the Tree City USA application is in, and we ended up designating Athens Beautification Day as Arbor Day. So that would have been April 18th, correct? Okay. The fall tree planting is complete. I don't know if anyone's noticed Carpenter Street in Washington and a number of areas outside of the uptown. It looks good. They did a good job. So, Five Springs Farm.
By people on the quality of the trees as well as the locations that we've chosen.
It ended up only costing $6,400, so we have about $1,600 left on that purchase order that we can use for a couple other projects.
Well, he has a question for you.
All right.
Yeah, there was some talk about on the corner of East State and Carpenter, right there on the corner of planting, I believe it was English oak. And it's not in there. So was that taken out because of site issues, or?
Actually, we are going to plant a different tree there in the spring.
Okay.
And the name's escaping me. It's not a large shade tree. It's more of an ornamental Chinese scholar tree.
Why are we doing an ornamental there rather than a large shade tree?
I thought we talked about that.
I don't remember
Well, let's
doing
change it. Let's change it to a
because
I thought it was going to be.
it's a sufficiently open position that I think. Well, we should check it again.
Let's check it again. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about where the 3 trees are currently. There's 3 trees on the corner.
No, this is on the corner. I mean, there's this little green space. It's on the corner.
Oh, okay.
And there's nothing there right now. I guess there's some pole there holding up the
I know what you're
lights.
talking
That
about now.
corner.
See, we got our areas mixed
Oh, okay.
up.
Yeah.
So we'll still do the Chinese scholar tree.
Yeah.
But we'll just
Is that
add another oak to that area.
You mean between the slipway and the street?
No,
No,
it's right on the it's right on the corner of East State and Carpenter it would be the
I know what you're
northwest
talking
side.
about.
Northwest.
But there's not that much space for 2 trees. It looks like just one large shade tree could only fit there.
Right.
But then further up the street,
Further up the street
there were
is
some
where
small trees, and we spoke about putting some large shade trees in amongst those two to take over once those.
Okay, I'll just work it out with
Yeah.
Mason that we
Yeah.
can just
Yeah.
not do that Chinese scholar tree there, or do that one somewhere else.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to ask you about, if we have got some money left, is some hazelnuts. Because
Those are going to be the ones for the behind the Walmart.
yeah.
Those will be planted in the spring as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Could,
And there's another tree. Oh, at the intersection of Tulane and Woodside, we're going to plant
Yeah.
a flowering dogwood there.
Could I have clarification here? Were you referring to the Chinese scholar tree as a small ornamental?
No,
Okay.
just an ornamental.
It's an ornamental tree.
but it's not.
Yeah, but it's a sizable tree.
Sure.
A medium-sized shade tree. Okay.
Yeah. But it's not a large shade tree. That's
Okay.
That was the distinction I think that we were making there. I mean, is it, or do
Yeah,
you think
but
of it as large?
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be. It grows wider than tall.
Mhm.
Okay.
Maybe it's not an appropriate tree for that site. We talked about it though.
The main problem with that is that the seed pods can cause problems if cars park under it,
Well, there's no cars
Cars
parked there.
can't park there.
and might cause some problems on the sidewalk.
Okay.
We'll look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a number of trees from this planting project that won't be planted until spring.
Yeah. Yeah, I was aware that there were going to be some delay till spring.
Roosevelt Tower, we planted 10 trees there, and they were donated by Five Springs Farm, trees that they were going to winterize or didn't want to winterize. So we took advantage of that. We planted 3 red maples, 4 Norway spruce, 2 willow oaks, and a ginkgo up there. And the rest of the trees that he donated, we are planting at the East State Street Dog Park. So.
Oh, good.
AM Rotary trees, they donated 7 trees, I believe, $1,500. They paid Five Springs Farm directly. They're planted near the soccer field.
I actually have one question about those. They haven't got the protective tubes around that we often have around the trees. Was that deliberate, or is that just a change in the way that they're being planted?
I'll check in on that with Mason and see why. Maybe it's because it's not a high traffic area.
Well,
Groundhogs.
yeah, I mean, it isn't just people, it's little animals that can be a problem to the trees.
Okay, I'll check in on that.
And once soccer season comes, I think there probably will be a lot of possibilities for damage to the trunks.
Okay.
Could you email me the list of trees for the record? Or do we need that
That
much of a record?
we planted?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
For both the Roosevelt site and the AM Rotary site and the citywide tree planting? Are you
If,
on all those?
Yeah, if
yes,
you've got-
please, that would be
Okay.
Yeah, I
lovely.
mean, we've got a list
Yeah, we can do that.
that's in the minutes from last time for the fall planting. I mean, if that's accurate, we can
I'll just use that.
We can just use that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll follow up on the protective tubes. APD, Athens Police Department, is interested in removing the Bradford pear trees along the walkway when you enter the police department from College Street. Charlene Cravens, one of the parking enforcement officers, has worked out a landscaping plan. If it's okay with the tree commission, we can review that and look at the site and see if it's
I had a brief look
Worthwhile
this
project.
evening. There are some evergreens. I mentioned to you at lunchtime that I was hoping that there was some evergreens. There are some there. I think we want to preserve those, but the Bradford pears, I can see why they want to get rid of them, because they are in the way of their flagpole, and they're fairly mature for that type of tree. They must have been there at least 15 years, I would think.
Yeah, there's no intent at all to remove anything else with the Bradford pears.
Yeah. 'Cause I think the issue arose initially because of obstructing the flagpole. The trees.
And they also grow into the neighboring
Right, there's a
property,
driveway, isn't
into
there? There's a
into
driveway.
the roof and into the windows, and they're difficult to trim, especially in house. So, the Ohio Tree Care Conference is coming up February 14th through 16th. I need 6 contact hours to continue my certified hours. It shouldn't be any problem. That's all I have.
Okay.
Ron,
Please.
you were talking about some trees going into the dog park. Did you say which one?
The East State Street Dog Park.
East State Street? And are these going to be small ones? Or?
Well, they'll end up hopefully being pretty big. There's a couple maples, there's some Norway spruce, I think one ginkgo, and maybe a willow oak that we had left over that we're planting.
Do you know where in the park they're going to go?
I do not know for sure where they're going to go, probably along the fence line.
Most of that park
It's wide
floods.
open.
Right, I was just thinking you might want to look at species in terms of flooding tolerance and the site after, I was there yesterday and it was pretty impressive what areas there were standing water. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but just plan ahead, not to put anything there that won't tolerate that.
Okay.
The red oak should take that pretty well.
Yeah. And the willow oak should do as well, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the water's not standing more than a few days,
Yeah.
these things should be okay. Any other questions for Ron? Okay. I'd normally ask him about the Emerald Ash Borer, but Paul's here to tell us all about the Emerald Ash Borer.
Yeah, sorry it's taken me a while to come back to talk with you folks about it. We do have, I've got a new map prepared for you guys. I tried to fit. I'm going to bring it up there. Do you guys want to?
Not at the moment, no.
Not at the moment, not too worried about it. Emails I've sent out earlier, we've identified roughly 450 ash trees at this point. Most are on rights of ways. When the students were out there doing their inventories, I basically said if you see an ash tree, regardless of whether it's on city right of way or not, put it down on the map since you're already out there. Let's try to gather as much data as possible. So we do have some data for the university as well as on private property. Most of the city's blanketed, roughly 80% is completed. The residential neighborhoods on the far south side still need to be covered. I did not want students out on unfamiliar areas of the city that are suburban nature, up and down hills where there's nowhere to park a car or to walk safely. I didn't want them out doing inventories in that neighborhood since they're unfamiliar with it. So we still need to get that completed, or if you guys want to make an executive decision not to worry about the south side once we get outside of Richland Avenue, because there's not much to be concerned about, maybe we can look at it that way as well. Or if you guys would like to.
Well, before we do that, I think I'd like to ask the
that.
Southside Association if they've got any volunteers who'd be interested in helping us complete it in their
The neighborhood association?
Yeah,
Okay.
the neighborhood association.
I don't think it'll take more than a day. I mean,
Well,
if we,
obviously, but they would need some training to do
right.
it. So,
I mean, if we've got a group of 5 or 10 people, I think we'd be able to. It'd probably be canvassed in about 2 or 3 hours, and it's all done.
yeah.
So we still need to do that. We do have about 250 planting sites that we've also identified. And David, I know you want to talk about what kind of data we need to get out of here. We input into the GIS system all of the data that was initially asked for on those grids. So we have the address. We've got, for most of it, we have, was it DBH? Is that what it's
Yes.
called?
That's the critical one we need.
We have that. We've got general conditions, utilities,
That helps.
etc.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of the data that we need now.
Yeah, because once we have that data in hand, we can then begin to develop a plan along the lines of trees of a certain size the city crew can remove on an as available basis. Larger trees, we'll then look at it and see whether we need the city to start removals immediately or whether we can afford to wait until the emerald ash borers are here and maybe put some money aside, and we'll try and figure out how much it's going to cost. But until we've got the data on the size of trees, we can't do much.
Okay.
The information on the health of the trees, obviously, if there are any trees that are in serious decline, we'll put those on a non-urgent removal list as soon as we can. And any trees that are under high voltage cables, we will ask AEP to remove when they can.
Okay.
As well.
If it would help you, David, if you'd like to, or any of you, if you'd like to come in at some point to my office and I can load up the the GIS software and I can show you which attributes we've collected, and we can run some filters and reports on it.
Okay.
So we can tailor it specifically to however you'd want to do it.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with GIS software, I can provide you with the shape files and you can have at it any way you want.
Yeah, the last time I had the data, it was just in a spreadsheet, and we sorted it that way. But I'll come in and have a look at it and see what you've got. Because I think once we have that data at the 80% level, I think you're right. We can begin to start writing a report. But I would like to have some assessment done on the south side if we
Sure.
can.
Okay.
So I'd like to give the neighbourhood association a chance of helping with that one. Because I don't think we have any commissioners from that area, do we? No.
No, John Woodrow was the last one.
Yes. Okay. Is there anything else to report from your office as planner?
No. I would like, if it's possible, maybe at next month's meeting, once school is back in session, we did have one student from Ohio University who she put in a considerable amount of time to put all the data in. She probably invested about at least 100 hours of her time pro bono to the city to do this. If possible, I think it'd be a nice thing. I've spoken with Ann Bonner about this, about formally recognizing, or through some sort of a resolution, just letter of appreciation for the work she did.
Yeah.
She put in a lot of effort on this, and I certainly didn't have any time to deal with this type of data input, and we got pretty good data for free. So,
Okay. Good. Thank you.
so if that's not too much trouble,
We can do that.
okay.
Anyone else got any questions for Paul at all? While he's here? Nope. Okay. Under other business, Ann Bonner sent me an email today about I think it's more of a data gathering exercise being done by the ODNR Division of Forestry. They're seeking our help to identify key issues, threats and opportunities associated with Ohio forest resources. They're doing this through a series of public meetings, as well as through emails and other means if people are interested. But the meeting in Athens will be at the ODNR office on January the 7th, 2010 at 1 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. So if anyone's interested in going and learning more about the situation of Ohio forests or wanting to contribute to that discussion, January the 7th, 1 p.m. ODNR office. Is there anything else?
I have a,
Garrett?
Go ahead.
I have a question for Ron. What's the status of that grant to do some plantings on that clover leaf on East State Street?
It will be revisited in January.
Revisit in January? Okay.
Yeah. I really want to get the rain garden element in that plan, and there's
So was it declined initially, and they're going to...
not declined, researched, but it was
Okay.
passed on
Yeah, I
to
gotcha.
other people in the state level. And
Okay.
they had a number of questions on the rain garden element. So and
Positive or
also
negative?
The plantings on the banks, they were concerned about that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
It's not dead by no means.
Okay.
So we do have some people that are pushing for rain gardens in the city, and I think that'll help our case with that area. I had one more item, just real quick. Asplund/AEP is doing some line clearance work. I talked to Brian Bentz from Asplund, and he's been really, really good to work with, representing Asplund, and he cares. He doesn't just go and hack trees and this, that, and other. But anyway, the circuits that they're working on, they're doing a big circuit in the Far East between Utah and Townsend, and it pretty much hits every street in between. So that's where they'll do the biggest bulk of the work. Another circuit that they're working on is on South Shannon between State and Stimson, and they're also they're done with a circuit on North Congress between Washington and State. So you'll see them around performing their line clearances. They have blue blazes on prunings and red blazes on removals, and they have to get approval from property owners to remove and trim, and they've been doing a good job of getting that. There were a couple trees that I questioned removal of, and we're trying to work those issues out. So.
Okay, very good.
If people who live on the Far East Side over there on Utah to Townsend have questions about what's going on, to whom should they apply? Should they call?
They can call me, and I'll go out there and visit with them and try to handle it on site.
Okay.
So to contact Ron, they will call the Mayor's office in the city and ask for Ron Lucas, Assistant Safety
And
Director.
speaking of if we see things, what should we do if we see someone out using the sidearm up and it's cutting into greenery along the street? There've been problems in the past, and then we thought that that had ended, and then it happened again, and so
Where did you see it happening?
Well, it was on Northwood, but then there was evidence of it on Old Peach Ridge.
Okay, we should have that stopped except for the following areas. The locust trees along Dairy Lane, we allowed them to go up with it a little bit, simply because it hurts to trim by hand. Gibson Road, we allow them to do some clearance there, and that should be it. Everything else should be hand if we need to go high. So I'll look into that.
So should we, if we see it, should we
Just
speed dial your number or?
yeah, that would be fine, or call Engineering and Public
Yeah.
Works.
Well, I took it upon myself when I was home to go out and say, excuse me, we were assured that you wouldn't use this again, and then they put it down.
Yeah, the sidearm has its uses. It definitely has its uses, but trimming trees isn't one of them in typical.
Well, it can be used, certainly, but what's left
Right.
behind is pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I think some of my neighbors are not aware that we should be going out there and trimming, and I try to keep mine back, but then I look at some of my neighbors and I think, they must not really know that that's their responsibility. So,
I'll look into that.
yeah.
Thanks. Paul, I think you had a question?
Yeah, no, I was going to make a statement or a notice that I believe on December 15th at 7 p.m. at the Athens Public Library, there's a public meeting or public hearing relating to the county comprehensive plan. So if anybody's interested in that, they're wrapping that up. There's obviously land use issues in there and things that may be of interest to shade tree commissioners.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other items we need to consider? In that case, we have the minutes of the last meeting. Does anyone need a copy? Last one too.
Yeah, we'll have to share.
No, these are last one. Are there any corrections or matters arising?
Move to accept the minutes.
Okay. You have a second?
I second it.
Okay. Before we approve them, are there any corrections people can see? Again, it was a fairly short meeting. I need to. I've still got to get with John Patsky to finalise the description of the Dunkin' Donuts Verizon property.
I realize I missed a meeting or two, but I haven't seen any evidence of planting within the parking lot where Bob's used to be.
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are 2 islands there that have trees in.
Okay. I just looked the other day. I guess I didn't.
It's kind of hidden.
I need to look at it.
I thought there was just one.
Well, maybe it's one. I thought it was just...
Well, I mean,
There's
within the
an
body.
enormous area with none.
Yes.
I know they had some problems there.
Yeah. So, are there any errors at all in the minutes? Do we need to correct them at all? I've got a motion on the table to approve. Any objection to approving the minutes? Hearing none, they're approved. The next meeting is January the 14th at 7 p.m. in the council chamber. That's January 2010. Not as it said on the first agenda, 2009. Our meeting for this year is adjourned. Thank you.